Hey guys, what's up? Jose Acosta here again. As you guys know, I did mention a surprise. And basically, the surprise is last night I was working so hard on trying to get both NXT and AEW written down so I could see which one I was going to be doing as a review. So I decided to work on both of them. So this one's going to be my NXT review. And for this one, I did like the episode. It was really good. One thing I do like is promos. And the fact that NXT was able to give the cruiserweights their promos before they had their entrances was pretty cool. And it kind of gives me that feeling of to when they first started off the Cruiserweight Classics. Basically introducing themselves, what they plan on doing, wanted to keep on further into the competition. It's really cool. And it's really exciting. And since I'm talking about promos over here, I'm going to get into the whole Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano. So the first thing I want to say about this promo was it was really good because we kind of see a change into Johnny Gargano and Candice. More of Candice because of her new look, which I absolutely love. And now talking about Johnny Gargano, we see that he admits that his career was like a fairy tale at first. And he, of course, now feels like he's unappreciated at NXT. He feels like he's a go-to guy. And he says that NXT has turned into a toxic wasteland. And now they just want to kind of rebuild and restructure into their type of NXT. So they want to become like the women's champs and the NXT champion. And I really do want to see that because I feel like that'd be a perfect heel move to go. But right now, it just all depends on how the future will go for it. But other than that, they're going to be setting a huge bar for whatever comes along. And then I also want to get into, of course, the beginning of the show when Velveteen Dream came out and had like a short promo. Of course, he was supposed to go against Finn Balor, but Finn was nowhere to show up because someone probably took him. And we don't know who. Of course, we start the cameras start rolling after they go to the commentators. They go to Velveteen Dream. And what is he doing on there? He's basically mocking Finn when he's on the post and does his little looking up, back down, looking back up, with the crowd just waving their hands up like crazy. It was pretty cool. I was laughing a little bit because, it's a mock scene. Velveteen Dream keeps on going, and then Undisputed music hits. Adam Cole comes out, basically saying that he was going to bring Velveteen's reality, basically. That he was living in the real life. And after that, he gets attacked by the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole comes in and attacks with them. And for the save, here comes Keith Lee, rushing into the ring, attacking both or all three members of Undisputed Era, and hits a pounce on Adam Cole onto Roderick Strong. After that, of course, it'll set up a match between him and Velveteen Dream against the Undisputed Era later on during the night. Alright, now that I'm done with that match, or that one, I'm going to get on to the first match of the night, which was Tegan Nox and Shotzi Blackheart versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Now for this match, I wasn't going to high standards, but I do like Shotzi. I have seen her before. She is an incredible worker. She's an incredible wrestler. And in the match, her and Tegan had the upper hand at first, and I felt like they had really good chemistry, but it wasn't enough to get to them. Unfortunately, Shotzi got hit with the one-arm powerbomb, and they lost the match to Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. And like I said, I wasn't going into high hopes in this one, but it was a good matchup at the end, and I really hope maybe to see more of Shotzi and Tegan tag team together. If not, hopefully to see more of them in the future with NXT. Alright, so the next match I am talking about is Drake Maverick versus Jake Atlas. And like I said in my previous video, Drake Maverick recently got released from his contract, and he's been kind of down on it. But thankfully, NXT was able to still let him compete. And to see that he was able to fight against Jake Atlas was something that was really awesome for me. Because he is a hard worker, for one thing. And he never had the opportunity to fight in the WWE as much. So when I heard that he was going for this, was pretty awesome. And the fact that he was partnered with Jake Atlas. And now Atlas, for you guys who don't know, he's a really great wrestler. I've seen him a couple times in California. Really nice guy, for one thing. Really hard worker. It took him a little long, but he finally made it into NXT. Of course, his first match against Loomis, he lost the match, but he didn't get to showcase what he can do. So having him put in the cruiserweight division, he's able to show what he can do. And that's what he exactly did on Drake Maverick, unfortunately. Of course, he had some really great moves, but with the one thing that really caught my eye, of course, was when he hit the cartwheel DDT from the top rope onto Drake Maverick for the win. And now that puts him at a higher advantage. And it sucks because, like I said, I wanted Drake to see him with the win. But when I kind of figured that they were putting him against Jake Atlas, you already knew that something was going to happen like that. But other than less, I was really happy to see Jake get a win, and hopefully he can go further in the competition. Alright, so the next match I'm covering is Kushida versus Tony Nese. And I gotta say, this one has to be my match of the night, only because of the fact that it was straight up back and forth action between both of these guys. Of course, Tony Nese starts off showing off, Kushida starts taunting him, and with Kushida, he's a great technical wrestler, so he's trying to get all these submission moves on him. And of course, Tony Nese as the heel, he has a target somewhere, so he targets his throat. Of course, later on during the match, Kushida ends up winning with the Sakamura armbar, submitting him, and also winning in the tournament. So hopefully we get to see more from Kushida. Right now, he is my top pick of winning this whole tournament for the Cruiserweight Champion. And I know I'm not the only one, but I would really love to see what he can keep on going. He's going to be big one day once it comes down to this whole competition and once it comes down to this whole NXT roster. He's one of the big names that can be up there in the main roster sooner or later. The next match I'm talking about is Mia Yim versus Jessica Maya. Now, this one was kind of a short match for me. There was not really much for me to explain, but as a fan of Mia Yim, she is killing it inside NXT right now. And she is someone that I believe will hold the gold one day, most likely, but it's going to take some time. So she hits her finishing move on Jessie to win the match. And after the match, Charlotte comes out and basically challenges to her match. Not for the championship, but just the match in general. And of course, Mia Yim's going to accept. So next week, we're going to be looking forward to that match. So the next one I'm going to be talking about is like a little vignette promo of what's going on with the Robert Stone brand. As you guys know, last week with the champion, or not the championship, but the briefcase for the number one contendership was on the line. Chelsea Green was really close and loses to Io Shirai. Basically, while I guess she's modeling off, Robert Stone's trying to help her pose, telling her what to do, basically explaining that they're gonna have to like rebrand everything, like restart. And she's saying how she's gonna win the title one day. That with her performance, she's put the world on notice. And you know, she can be good. I mean, we already seen her compete in Raw. She's already competed in main event. She can be a great superstar, and she can go far within the division. I really wish they kept Deonna Purrazzo so they can have their tag team together. But I guess they wanted to focus on putting Chelsea as a singles competitor. But all we can hope for is to see what happens next. Okay, so the next match I am going with is Jack Gallagher versus El Hijo del Fantasma. And for people who don't know who Fantasma is, um, if you guys watch Lucha Underground, he is known as King Cuerno, and I was a pretty good fan of his back in the day when he started off with Lucha Underground. The thing that kind of memorized me for him was the fact that he had this dive, and I felt like when he ran and he dove out of the ring, he would go far, and that was pretty crazy. And recently, as you guys know, if you watch Triple R and all that, he had to unmask himself. And when he got signed with the WWE, he was unmasked. The thing I like about it is that they let him keep the mask. And that's pretty cool because that solidifies his legacy. And the fact that they put him against Jack Gallagher was pretty cool. And of course, when you're going against Jack Gallagher, you know he's no longer a gentleman inside the ring. And he'll be doing whatever he can to win. So, of course, the big thing is the mask. You know, any way that he can, he's going to try to take off the mask to give him a better advantage because he knows the mask he wants to keep on. So there was a couple times in the match where he went towards the mask, either trying to rip it or trying to take it off, and it didn't work. I mean, Iho was on him, and of course, the finishing move was a Samoan driver to get the 3 count and to move on. And to be honest, for his debut, this was a pretty good match. And to see more from Iho is going to be pretty cool. Maybe he'll go far in the competition too. Who knows? And the final match that I'm covering is, of course, Keith Lee and Velveteen Dream against the Undisputed Era. This one, it was supposed to be Velveteen versus Finn Balor. But, fortunately, Finn was either abducted or maybe taken out. And speaking of that, before I get into that final match, you see Fantasma talking outside, and these two masked men come out and start attacking him and almost trying to get him to the van, but he fights his ground. They drive off, and he gets back into the ring. And the funny thing is, I'm thinking, who can these guys be? And people were, when the first time they saw this, they probably thought it was going to be Iho, but Iho was the one that almost got abducted. So it's not them. So who can this be? Who are these masked men now? Alright, now back to the match. I'm going to say with this one was a really good match, of course. It started off with, of course, them going against each other, colliding, basically fighting with each other. Bobby Fish gets involved and gets himself kicked out. While the ref is dealing with that, Keith Lee is all by himself, and here comes Damian Priest with his nightstick, hitting him twice in the throat, and then leaving, which meant that they had to get Keith Lee help, and which left a 2-on-1 advantage for Undisputed Era. And Velveteen was all by himself for most of the match. Then, out of the blue, all of a sudden, here comes Dexter Lumis standing there. And when I saw this, I was kind of freaked out because I was like, where the hell did he come from? And it just, I thought he was going to be a heel, but I guess he's a babyface because he is now teaming up with Velveteen against the Undisputed Era. Of course, here he comes with the hot tag. He's coming in, beating up both of them. Of course, Bobby Fish comes back, and Lumis sees this. So then he runs the ropes, Velveteen Dream tags himself in, and basically jumps over the rope to land on both Strong and Fish. And of course, the finishing end was, of course, the Purple Rainmaker on Adam Cole, Velveteen for the win, along with Lumis. And of course, this means Velveteen pinned Cole. So does this mean we'll be getting a championship opportunity for Velveteen anytime soon? Who knows? All I know is that sooner or later, it's going to be dream over for Adam Cole. And Velveteen is that person to hold that title sooner or later. and I would love to see that because he's one of the ones that came from Tough Enough. If you guys didn't know, and he, I felt like if it wasn't for the fans' votes for those ones, I felt like he probably would have won. He had everything for it, and now to see where he's at now is awesome. And yeah, guys, that's it for this NXT review. Like I said, I'm gonna give this between a 1 and 10. So the number I'm choosing is an 8.5. It was really great. I really loved it. Of course, there was a little slip ups in the matches, but I just forget about those. I just enjoy watching it at the same time. So my enjoyment was at an 8.5 today for NXT. Other than that, guys, all right, thank you for watching this. I really hope you guys are having a good day. And there's more to come with this channel. So I hope you like it. Like I said earlier, subscribe, comment down below. I will answer all the comments. And I hope you guys have a good night. And until next time, I'll see you guys soon. Later, guys.